So let's add a button now to turn the reverb on and off. It's just going to be controlling this bypass button on the reverb effect. So again, I'll right click on the panel and I'll select Add New Button. Here it is. By the way, to delete a control, you just select it and press delete on your keyboard, and the control goes away. Let's re-add that button by right clicking over here, select Add New Button. Now because I did it over here rather than by right clicking on the panel in the component list, the button has been placed outside of the panel. So if I close up the panel, you can see the button is still here. To place the button inside the panel now, we can just click and drag, and I can drop it, and now it's in the panel. And unlike the module tree, we can actually drag this around anywhere and it will actually stay where we put it. The order of the components in this list also controls the Z index, so that's which components are on top of each other. For example, let's click on the button, and if I drag it down over the keyboard, we can see that the button is on top of the keyboard, and that's because it's lower down in this list than the keyboard. But if I drag the button up so it's above the keyboard, you can see it now disappears, and that's because it's actually behind the keyboard. So this is how you control the layering of components. I've just noticed we didn't name the preset browser, so let's do that now. I'll hit F2, and again, because this is a floating tile, we'll prefix it with FLT, and because we want to give it a meaningful name so we know what it is, we'll call it preset browser. Okay, let's take our reverb button. We're going to put it up here somewhere. I'm going to change the name to BTN Reverb. I don't want the text to show BTN though, so I'm going to come over here to the text property and just change it to say reverb. There we go. I'm going to come down to the color properties. I'm going to remove the background color. I'm going to remove item color. I'm going to remove item color 2. And I'm just going to leave the text color. It's not ideal, but it will do for this. But without using film strips or scripting, we don't get a lot of customization options. Okay, let's connect this button to our Reverb's bypass button. So I'm going to select the button here, and I'm going to come to the parameter properties section, and I'm first of all going to select the processor ID. So this is the ID of the processor in our module tree that we want to affect. And because we gave our modules sensible names, we can find it really easily. We know it's this one, Simple Reverb. So if this just had a generic name like Effect 1 or Effect 2, it would be harder to find it in the list. So this is why I encourage you to use a naming convention for pretty much everything that's descriptive of what it is, so that when you're trying to link things together, either through the property editor or through scripting, you can find what you want really easily. And from the parameter ID list, we can choose what part of the Simple Reverb module we want to control. And in this case, we have a few things like the damping, the wet level, the dry level, but these two at the top are the ones we're interested in, and we're going to select enabled. So that means when our button is on, the reverb will be on. When the button is off, the reverb will be off. If we selected bypass, it would do the same thing, but the behavior would be inverted. So our button being off would turn the reverb on. Now, sometimes for these changes to take effect, it's necessary to open the code editor and just hit compile. Then we can close it again. Okay, so this button should now be connected to the Simple Reverb. And we can see it's bypass now. And now it's enabled. So there's the bypass button. And this is a one-way connection. So the button on the interface controls the bypass button of the module, but clicking the button on the module makes no difference to the button on the interface.